Hi there. Hi there. Today we are graphing lines in standard form. So you can see up here at the top of the notes, this is your standard form. AX plus BY equals C. So these letters, A, B, and C, the capital ones, those are all numbers when they give you an equation. We've seen this before in our first chapter when we talked about literal equations, when we had all those letters and we solved for one of the letters. Today is similar to that. So before we start graphing, we know we can graph a standard form in two ways. We can find the x-y intercepts, but we are actually today going to put the equation in slope-intercept form. That is your y equals mx plus b form. This is our preferred method. This is the way we are going to practice. So to summarize what we're going to be doing today, we're going to add in two things here. First, we're going to add or subtract the x term. Then the second thing we're going to do, we're going to divide all terms by the y coefficient. So that means the number in front of y. Okay, so let me show you what I mean here with problem A. We have x minus 3y is equal to negative 6. So before we can graph this, we have to get it in y equals mx plus b format. So first thing I'm going to do is subtract my x over. Okay, so now I'm going to write my x term first. So I have a minus x, and then I have a minus 6. You cannot combine those two because one is a variable, one is a number. It's very important. They stay separate. Okay, then my second step that I wrote up above, I'm going to divide by the y coefficient. So I'm going to divide by the negative 3 in front of y. So you can see how I divided the entire right side by negative 3. So now let me simplify this. The negative 3 on the left side cancels. Okay, so now I'm going to separate out my fractions. I have a negative 1 on top, negative 3. I just separated this fraction here, and I have x. Now I'm going to write this fraction here, so I have minus 6 over minus 3. Now I can simplify those fractions. If I have two negatives, they make a positive. So I'm going to, running out of room here, write it down below. So y equals now a positive 1/3 x, and then negative 6 divided by negative 3 is a positive 2. Now I can graph this equation. So my y-intercept, my b, that's 2. My slope is 1/3. So we'll go up to 2, and then rise over run. So I go up 1/3, up 1/3. Then the exact opposite. So down 1, left 3. And then draw your line with your arrows. Okay, so that's how we graph a line in standard form. The hardest part is getting the equation in y equals mx plus b format. So let's do problem B here. We'll practice again. Subtracting our x first. Okay, so first step I'll do in blue. So minus 4x, minus 4x. Those cancel. So I have 6y is equal to, I write my x's first. So it's a negative 4x and a negative 12. All right, now I'm going to divide by my coefficient in front of y. So I have this cancel, so I have y equals, I'm going to separate out my fractions. Negative 4 over 6x minus 12 over 6. Okay, and then let's reduce that. So negative 4 divided by 6. I can divide both of those by 2. So I'm going to get negative 2 on top and then 3 on the bottom. And then negative 12 divided by 6 would be a negative 2. Remember, you can always use your calculator with that fraction button, the A, B over C button, to help you reduce those fractions. Okay, so now let's graph. I'm gonna erase that so we don't get confused. Okay, so now my graph, my y-intercept is -2. My slope is -2/3. So let's start at my -2. Rise over run. So I'm going down 2, right 3. Okay, and then let's scroll down here a little bit. All right, I can't make any more dots down in this area, so I need to go up to left 3, and up to left 3, up to left 3. Okay, and then connect your dots to make your line, and then add your arrows. So let's double check here. This slope is negative. We have a -2/3. So your line should be decreasing. If you drew a little man walking, he's walking downhill. So we know we did our slope right. You can see, okay, the first problem we did, that was a positive 1/3 slope. So he'd be walking uphill. We did that correctly. All right, let's do one more on the backside, problem E. We have x plus y is equal to -5. So I'm going to subtract my x. So make sure my x is first. Then I'm going to divide by the number in front of y. But we look, and there's not even a number in front of y. It's invisible 1. So we are actually done. This one's easier than the first two. So I'm just going to graph then. I have my y-intercept is -5, and my slope is -1 over 1. So I'll start at -5, and I'm going to go down 1, right 1. Okay, then I need to add some more dots, so I'm going to do the opposite, up 1, left 1. Okay, and then let's double check. My slope is negative. My line is going down. So that makes sense. Great. Okay, we're just going to do those 3 examples today for graphing lines in standard form.